The movie begins with Tom Carter breaking into a safe, as this is the final heist he plans to carry out. Later, he finds employment at a self-storage warehouse where he meets Annie, a graduate student. As Tom prepares to lead an honest life, he engages in conversation with Annie, and she appears to be captivated by his charm. A year later, Tom and Annie are in a romantic relationship. He takes her to an apartment he intends to purchase for them, although technically they are trespassing. She admires the place, and he is determined to build a stable future for both of them. He asks her to move in with him, and she agrees. However, at that moment, he tries to tell her something else, but she insists that there have been enough surprises for the night. In the city, FBI agent Myers arrives at work, accompanied by his dog. He informs his superior, Agent Baker, about his ongoing divorce and how his wife is allowing him to keep the dog while she keeps the house. Shortly after, Tom contacts the office to surrender himself and reveal his true identity as the In and Out Bandit, expressing his dislike for the nickname. Due to multiple false confessions from other bandits, the FBI doubts his claims and questions why he wants to turn himself in. Tom explains that he is in love with Annie and desires a fresh start. After 48 hours, Tom calls again, frustrated that the FBI has taken no action. Unconvinced, Baker assigns other agents, Nivens and Hall, to interview Tom. When the two agents arrive at Tom's apartment, he informs them about a storage unit where he has hidden all the money from his previous robberies. He hands them the key to the storage unit, allowing them to verify his claims while he remains in his apartment. The agents proceed to the storage unit and are astonished to discover that Tom was telling the truth, as there are millions of dollars stashed inside. Nivens attempts to involve Hall in a scheme, persuading him to take all the money. They pack the money into their car, knowing that Hall needs the extra funds to support his family. Reluctantly, Hall agrees to go along with the plan. As they are leaving, they encounter Annie, who inquires about the items they are moving from Tom's place. They deceive her by claiming that Tom instructed them to move everything to his new apartment, but Annie remains unaware that they are actually transporting money. In a different twist, the agents return to Tom's apartment. Nivens brandishes his gun, intending to kill Tom on the spot. Instead of reporting to the FBI, they plan to steal the money they had taken from the store. However, Annie is on her way calming to her friend Tom. Niven and Hall, their scheme is interrupted when someone knocks on the door. In a hurry, they conceal their guns, and Hall opens the door, only to find their boss, Baker, standing there. Acting on impulse, Nivens shoots and fatally killed Baker. Tom fights back against Nivens and Hall, leading to a struggle that results in Nivens and Tom falling out of a window, coincidentally witnessed by Annie. Although horrified, Tom instructs Annie to run as they escape from the corrupt agents. Meanwhile, Nivens and Hall drive away, attempting to cover up the incident and framing Tom in the process. Hall is aware that Tom has taken his gun. Tom drives Annie to a safe location, but he is compelled to confess his past as a thief. He reveals the truth to Annie, expressing his genuine desire to make amends. Annie is deeply dismayed by this revelation, even as Tom tries to be transparent about his intentions. Nivens and Hall pursue them on the road until Tom's car crashes. Seeking refuge, Tom and Annie hide in a parking garage until they manage to lose Nivens. Tom then hotwires another car to make their escape. Simultaneously, Myers arrives at the apartment and discovers Baker's lifeless body. Later, he must inform Baker's wife of her husband's tragic demise. Tom and Annie decide to visit a playground temporarily. Annie is still upset after discovering Tom's secret. He confides in her about his father losing his job due to the CEO embezzling from the employees, which led to his father's tragic suicide by crashing his car into a tree at high speed. Tom himself was later robbed by the same CEO. He admits that the act of robbery gave him a sense of purpose, but everything changed when he met Annie. Slowly, she begins to forgive him and he tells her to leave the city alone to other states, as these men will kill her if they know she is his friend. The next morning, Myers investigates Tom's background with Nivens and Hall. However, Nivens and Hall deceive Myers by falsely accusing Tom of killing Baker and placing the blame on him. During the investigation, they discover that Tom's real last name is Dolan and that he served in the Marines, where he gained knowledge about explosives and demolition. Contrary to their initial plan, Annie decides not to leave the city. Instead, she contacts Tom and informs him about a storage warehouse where they can find evidence implicating Nivens and Hall in the theft. Tom advises her to leave the warehouse immediately as their pursuers are closing in. Annie retrieves the footage tape from the warehouse but is confronted by Nivens, who attacks her. Despite putting up a fight, Annie is overpowered and rendered unconscious by Nivens. He attempts to kill her, but Hall intervenes and takes the security footage from her. Tom, who had stolen a van, arrives at the scene, finds Annie unconscious, and rushes her to a hospital. In the meantime, he contacts Nivens and Hall, unaware that Myers is listening in on their conversation. Tom confronts Nivens about the attack on Annie, but Nivens denies any involvement. Determined to seek justice, Tom vows to go after him. While waiting at a traffic light, Tom is recognized by a nearby police officer who begins to chase after him. Nivens and Hall become aware of the situation and join in the pursuit. Tom manages to lose the police officer and hides until he spots Nivens and Hall. Taking advantage of the opportunity, he rams his van into their car. Nivens fires at Tom, but Tom manages to escape. Mayer spots Tom and pursues him, resulting in a brief altercation between Tom and Myers. However, Tom convinces Myers that he is an ally and did not kill Baker. Tom also reveals that Nivens is the one responsible for Barker's death. Tom hands over Hall's pistol, which he had taken from him during their previous encounter when they attempted to harm him. After informing Myers about Annie's hospitalization, the agent goes to sit in her room. Later, he notices Nivens approaching to finish the job, but leaves upon seeing Myers. Mayer becomes suspicious of his men and arranges a meeting with Nivens to question him about Tom's accusations. Nivens dismisses Tom's claims, labeling him as a liar. Mayer returns Hall's pistol to him. During the night, Hall discusses his personal emotions with his wife Beth while in bed. He then heads to the garage where he hears a noise and is unexpectedly attacked by Tom. Hall confesses that Nivens is solely responsible for everything and hands over the security footage to Tom. He also warns Tom that Nivens intends to harm Annie. Consequently, Tom visits Annie and finds her awake. He successfully rescues her and brings her to a secure room. Annie accompanies Tom as he pursues Nivens. He strategically places an explosive device in Nivens' residence and provides him with ample warning to evacuate before the detonation. Tom anticipates that Nivens will lead him to the location where he and Hall have concealed their illicitly obtained riches. Meanwhile, Annie patiently awaits Myers' arrival at the storage facility to uncover the remainder of Tom's funds. Tom successfully tracks down Nivens and Hall at the designated spot, resulting in a fierce gunfight that culminates in Hall's demise. Nivens, desperate to flee, hastily drives away until Tom contacts him and reveals the presence of another bomb specifically designed to activate upon the slightest movement. Left with no alternative, Nivens is compelled to pull over and await the arrival of the bomb squad. However, upon their inspection, it becomes evident that the bomb is non-functional. With Myers possessing a recording wherein Nivens and Hall explicitly discuss their involvement in Baker's murder, coupled with Nivens carrying stolen money, the federal authorities apprehend him. Outside the FBI headquarters, Annie engages in a conversation with Myers, appealing for leniency towards Tom. Subsequently, Tom himself contacts Myers to surrender, and Myers consents to assist Tom in securing a more lenient sentence. Finally, Tom and Annie share a heartfelt embrace,